And we are back with another Black with No Cream podcast. New episode every single Wednesday and Sunday. I'm your host, Ben Haggerty, a.k.a. Ben Realverse World. It is a motherfucking fantastic day to be alive. And today's special guest on that great day to be alive is Andrew Hales. He's a YouTuber who has gained over 340 million views across his channel. Basically, Andrew's created, like early on, was doing pranks. He would do these prank videos that kind of were inspired by Jackass and the whole hidden camera thing, and he would go out into different crowds of people and try, he calls them social experiments because it's a little easier for people to allow him to use the footage after he did the pranks. But he's done a ton of different videos that were very, very funny and got tons of views, and I remember watching this shit all the time. I would show all my friends these videos, and then I randomly happened to skate across him in Hollywood, and I was like, yo, I would love to get you on the podcast. Your shit is brilliant. And he said yes. So he hopped on the podcast and explained his story, and it was pretty awesome. His channel that he started, LAHWF, it's LAHWF, is inspired by Fight Club. Everything he does, he even has a watch inspired by Fight Club. But that's where he puts all his content on his channel, and he recently just started a podcast / interview series, I guess you could call it, on his channel called Chatting With, where he chats with like very interesting subjects with wild viewpoints, like a flat earther or a 9/11 conspiracy theorist, or like ex-convicts. Like, it's pretty interesting. So he's been doing that for a while, and it's blowing up and starting to pick up steam, and I'm glad to have him on the show. So get excited for this interview. It's a great one. This dude is super, super interesting. And yeah, we appreciate you listening to this. If you want to join Black with No Cream, if you don't know what Black with No Cream is, Black with No Cream is a private creative collective, I guess, full of creators that are sharing their content, asking for feedback, tips and tricks and all that in a private Facebook group that we have, and it's free to join. So if you'd like to join, bwnc.com/join. We'd love to have you. Please join. And that's it. Yeah, subscribe to this podcast if you're new, because we do these things every Wednesday and Sunday, and we appreciate your support. So cool. Before we begin, I just want to say shout out to everyone that bought our Black with No Cream mugs, because you know, we made them and we have them in stock, and then when they leave stock, it feels good, and then that helps us pay the bills. And if you haven't bought one yet and you're like, man, I should do it because I support this podcast, you can do it at shopbwnc.com, because we love you. All right, cool. Let's get to the podcast right motherfucking now.
Attention.
If you stop this podcast recording at any time, you will die.
I don't want to die.
Do you want to live?
You have 24 hours to share this podcast with 5 people, or you will die.
I'm kidding. You won't die. You're just weak shit for not sharing.
And the winner of the best motherfucking podcast goes to...
Black with No Cream.
What do you think?
It's so fucking dumb and so fucking Ben Haggerty.
I knew you would say that. And we are back with another Black with No Cream podcast. New episode every single Wednesday and Sunday. I'm your host, Ben Haggerty, a.k.a. Ben Realverse World. Today's special guest, Andrew Hales. How you doing, bro?
Real good. How are you?
I'm very great, and I'm happy that you decided to join us on this podcast.
Of course.
You don't know anything about me, but I've been paying attention to your channel for fucking years. I actually got into your channel because I saw you in someone else's video, and you look like one of my best friends, Kyle. Okay.
I get that a lot, actually.
Like you look like my homie Kyle?
Well, yeah, a lot of people, you know, they tell me that I look like whatever, yeah.
It's like somebody else.
Yeah. I just have one of those faces.
You do, but you look identical to my homie, and I was always like, watch this shit, and then you explore the channel, and I see all the shit you got, and it's just fun. I mean, I was in Iowa watching all your content out here, and I don't know, it seems like you making prank videos out the gate is something that's timeless. Like, you can watch a video that you made 8 years ago now, and I can still laugh just as hard.
Well, that's nice of you.
Do you feel like that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
It just seems like we were just watching them because he hadn't seen them yet, and so I was playing a couple of the like top, you know, your top ones, and I was fucking crying just like I was when I watched that shit 5 years ago.
Hell yeah.
But for people who don't know, you make a ton of different types of content on your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel's booming. You've conquered YouTube. Congrats.
Thanks.
It's what we're trying to figure out how to do it. It's hard.
You'll get there.
Thanks, man.
It's all about consistency. I guess, yeah, just meditate on it and figure that shit out. Yeah. It kind of is a mystery. Yeah.
It is. When I mean, now your channel, you've kind of changed the content that you're releasing. Which, when did that happen? Like a year ago?
Yeah, about the end of 2017 would be like when I strictly only put out interviews.
Right. And the interviews, I was telling you, so I was skating by my office here in Hollywood, and I always see you out here walking around with your dog. Shout out to your dog.
Nice. Bonnie.
Yeah, and I see you walking. So did my girl. She sees you too. So I was like, that, yo, you gotta check out his videos. He's funny.
Nice. Yeah, your girlfriend's hot, dude.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
I'm just kidding. I don't know what she looks like.
She's hot, dude. But so we always see you, and I'm like, man, I should just hit him up and see if I can get him on the podcast. I DM you one time, you didn't respond.
Yeah, that's sad.
It is what it is. You're famous, bro. So then
I'm very famous,
right?
And very important
YouTuber. If you can put YouTuber in your job title, you're
I know. I am glad you like stopped me when I was getting coffee that one day.
Yeah, but I feel like it's one of those things, and trust me, you probably go through it all the time where people just annoy you when you're trying to be.
No, actually, no. Nowadays, no one stops me. I'm not relevant anymore, you know?
Really?
Well, yeah, because the interviews, they're niche.
Right, very niche.
So the pranks were all like, popcorn crowd pleasers.
Right.
So these last couple of years, it's definitely died down a bit.
That's interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm like more than happy to help you out.
No, I wanted to talk to you because you doing the transition into doing these interviews. Like some of the people you be interviewing are like an ex-convict, a 9/11 conspiracy theorist. Yeah. So what I told him was like, yo, when you started this shit, I thought it was a joke. Like, your channel's known for being comedic and doing pranks. So I thought you were pranking all of us that you were interviewing these people. Because you were interviewing some, like, influencer type people, too. I think maybe that's what kind of threw me off.
Oh, right, at the beginning.
Like the Gabby show or whoever. Like, I was
Cody
like...
Co.
Yeah.
Aaron Breen. Gabby show. Yeah, a few. And then...
Futuristic.
Sure, yeah. And then it started to pick up as soon as I... figured out that you just, different walks of life, and that was like kind of what shaped the little brand there. Yeah,
because when I listen to it thinking it's a joke, and then I hear this like very serious, like you being very actually intrigued by what they do, right? And you sit down and start talking to these people, an expert on homicide, and you just started shooting the shit with someone that's like an expert on homicide, which I think is so interesting because that's usually when you're driving like an Uber or you're riding in an Uber and the Uber driver does that as their normal job and they tell you about it and you get to actually ask them real questions. But
yeah, that's definitely like one of the strategies. Like I wanted one of the parts of the brand, I want it to be like a random guy that just asked you in the bar the dumb questions,
right?
And yeah,
but that everyone needs to know, like we want to know,
right? All the dumb questions, I guess. But like, yeah, like I'm not an intellectual. A lot of the comments, I know as soon as it starts with it. If the comment starts with this interviewer, I know it's going to be negative, Right. Like, yeah, I know I'm a jackass, but that's like almost part of the brand. Like I want to relate to the most people.
Yeah. But you seem to do a lot of research when you're going to go into those interviews.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely like binge the whole night before or whatever it is. But also there's a happy medium because I also want to have that like pure curiosity also be there.
Right.
So,
well, it kind of opens up the door for like a organic conversation.
Right. So I try not to research too much and not to know too much, and then let my natural curiosity do a lot of the work.
Right. So I mean, I want to get into this, but I mean, your channel prior to doing the interviews, you had such an explosive channel. Like you said, it was a popcorn pleaser for the audience, but it would be viral content that would get like tens of millions of views on your videos, which is fucking ridiculous. My applause to you. That's pretty tight.
Yeah.
But before starting YouTube, like where did the interest in kind of creating content come from? Like, was that early on? Because when did you start the channel? You started that in like, I don't know what, 2000.
Well, I guess I technically started it in 2009, but I didn't upload anything until about 2012. But yeah, the whole time I guess has just been, I mean, since I was 16, I always did like jackass videos, skateboarding, whatever. But then finally 2012, and then one of them blew up, and I was like, all right, oh, hell yeah. So this might actually be a thing. And then, so we kept doing it every Monday. And
it was just jackass type content. Or was it the prank shit right out the gate?
Well, yeah, by that point, it was just hidden camera jackass shit. I think the first video was almost picking up chicks.
Right.
And then, then we just kept doing it every Monday. And for that next year, it just blew up. Yeah.
It's so interesting because your demeanor is like very like laid back and kind of quiet. You know what I mean? Like that's who you are.
Yeah.
It's funny as fuck to me that you'll go up to people and just say the most wild shit or laugh when you're not supposed to. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. Yeah. People have mentioned that, and I made a little, I guess, vlog / documentary. Yeah, explaining like I was on like Adderall, like a lot of the pranks. Yeah, and that helped me come out of my shell.
Damn.
So for that like 2-3 hour window before you come down, you know, so
you strategically would take Adderall to shoot videos.
Yeah,
because you knew that would change your character.
I knew it would make me more confident, more ballsy, etc.
Huh.
So.
That's similar to like a musician like drinking before they go on stage or something.
Right, or cocaine, whatever. Yeah. That's the thing. Like I don't feel bad about it. It's like you know, so many people in the entertainment industry, they do rely on drugs to get them through whatever performance.
Right.
So
you're from where are you from originally? New York?
Utah mostly.
Utah?
Yeah.
Did you live in New York at one point?
I was born in New York.
Born in New York
for a year, and then I grew up in New Hampshire until I was 10, and then mostly Utah until I was 24.
Were you making the videos in Utah first when they started blowing up? So this was all happening at home.
Yeah, this all happened in Provo. Yeah, like BYU, UVU.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which part of Utah were you from?
Mostly Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, the capital.
Do you like it there?
Yeah, it's great. It's where all my family is.
What would you do in your downtime? What was like the fun shit to do in Utah? I've only ever been to Park City.
Yeah, Park City's great. Yeah, I would snowboard a bit. I don't know, skateboarding, just going out. Yeah, normal stuff, you know, that anyone does.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you into like the music culture at all? Like as far as like punk? I mean, I feel like Jackass, by being a fan of Jackass, you might fall into the CKY or the punk type shit, or like that's like.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, I don't know. Not really. Like, I loved like Blink-182 and all that shit, but not really. No.
Right. Right.
I'm really not. Yeah, I'm not into music as much as I should. Yeah.
I feel like with becoming a fan of Jackass, I was the same way. Like we would, jumping into trees.
Yeah. How old are you now?
31.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're my generation. Yeah. I'm 29.
Okay, right. Cool. So yeah, Jackass was like the fucking thing to look. I mean, it's still like the content.
Jackass. I fucking worshipped Jackass. I loved Johnny Knoxville. All that. Like I couldn't wait for that to come on MTV. You know?
Yeah, and it was like you see it and then you want to imitate that shit. So
that was the best show on TV.
It was
when you were 14.
Yes, yeah. It's still. But I mean, even if you go watch the movies, they try to make them into movies and shit. It's like you still watch it. It's still fun. Like they still push it.
I love it.
I feel like when you watched that, was it something that kind of calculated to like, oh yeah, we should hide the cameras in a tree and go walk up to someone and do some wild shit? What was the first experiment? Because I like how you always tell people it's like, oh, this is just a social experiment or whatever. Like, to me that makes sense, right? Like it is you playing a character. It is you doing like fucking theater type shit almost.
Yeah, well, social experiments definitely a much easier thing to tell people than prank, They're just like, oh, like some student film bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, it's a prank, like they're less offended for some reason. So I picked that up immediately.
Right.
So I said social experiment a bunch of times. But yeah, a lot of it does derive from Jackass and like the stuff they used to do and hidden camera stuff. And, but yeah.
Who would you make the videos with? Was it you and like your friends? How did you start making them at first?
I guess, it really took off when I put an ad on Craigslist for a filmer and to pay him whatever, like $20 an hour or whatever. And that's when
what a fucking tight job.
Yeah, I don't know. We met at McDonald's. He's like, yeah, we can do that. And I was like, all right. And so we did that. And that's when it took off, when I actually invested like money into a goddamn filmer, because your friends, like
they're missing.
It's just
shit.
Not the same. Yeah. Right. It's really not the same. And like when you're with a filmer, you're like, oh fuck, like every minute counts. And it's like, I'm paying for this and it's all business. And it's like, we got to do something here.
Right. There's a specific goal to meet for both of us on that.
Right. When you're with your friends, it's so easy to just like goof off.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is it, like when you set out, how old were you when you started? How old were you?
About 22 when it took off.
So were you went to college?
Yeah, I went to 3 years.
So in school, you were going to school for what?
I changed it like 8 times, like journalism, business, English, whatever.
Did you ever graduate?
No.
Because of YouTube?
3 years. I stopped after 3 years and worked for a year, and then YouTube took off.
What did you do for a job?
I was a telemarketer and a server, both at the same time for like about 6 months.
Really?
Yeah, it was awful.
Serving where?
This place called Iggy's.
Iggy's.
In Orem. Yeah. They just had they were just like a sports bar.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're doing that shit, and then you kind of start falling into this. It starts booming right out the gate, which is hard. I feel like. Who are some of your influences when you started your channel?
Jackass mostly.
But was there other YouTubers? Like Jackass is it was MTV, right? So it's
right.
Because YouTube, I feel like at that time wasn't really what it is now. I guess people focusing on building content for it.
At that time in 2012, there really wasn't many pranksters. I mean, there was Jack Vale and there was Ed Bassmaster, Happy Trigger TV. That's really, I don't know, Punked.
Right.
There's really nothing. There wasn't too much, but then in a couple of years, it definitely got saturated.
Right. Did you when your channel started kind of making momentum, I guess, or whatever, you're seeing views and sharing and all that stuff. Did anyone ever reach out to you? Because it's like your Happy Trigger TV, wasn't that on, what network was that on? Was it on a network before it was on YouTube?
Yeah, see, I don't even know. I
remember watching that shit on TV. It was like on some fucking trash channel or something. I don't remember.
Like Spike.
Yeah, Spike TV. It was like that. But did you ever get approached by anyone to develop a show or anything like that?
No, not really. I think I might have gotten some people that were like, yeah, I kind of know some person that is a part of that network or something, and they want to do some shit, but nothing ever turned out,
So when the channel starts, you had quit your jobs? Or were you still doing them?
Well, by that point I did quit because I was also selling Italian ice at events. I had a little Italian ice push cart business.
That you started?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I mean, like, what? How
it's also like a kind of a franchise. Like they were called Little Jimmy's Italian Ice, and you can still see them. Well, I don't even know if they're still in Entrepreneur magazine, but that's where I found them back then. And I bought into one, and it was good. It was doing great, whatever.
So where would you go?
The fair, any little festival in Utah.
Like you just attack events, and then during the week, would you be doing be in front of a campus or? Right.
Yeah. So that was kind of like May, April 2012, doing all that shit. But then, luckily, one of the videos blew up, and I was like, "Wow, this makes a lot more money."
It did from the AdSense and shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Because at the time back then, AdSense was it paid out much better than it does today. No.
I mean, yes and no, because now it's like YouTube favors longer videos,
right? And
so now that I got these interviews, it's like I'm making more than the pranks ever did. But
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What if a prank video did high in views, even if it was shorter? Do you see a competition there as far as what pays out more?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. There's a lot of different factors,
right.
Keywords, the season,
right.
The watch time,
and there's YouTube partners, which I feel like isn't that set up to? I mean, I only know about that shit because Logan Paul fucked his whole thing up or whatever and lost his partnership, and now he doesn't make money. But then when I started looking into it, it's like they favor specific channels, and I don't know if that just gives you more of a payout, I guess, on the view. Have you heard? Anything about that?
All I know is the cleaner you are, the better,
right?
For the algorithm, the longer the better. I guess, I've heard that putting the category helps. Like entertainment, it's very saturated. So if you simply put your category in education,
right, that's interesting.
That helps. So I did that a month ago, and I don't know if I haven't noticed a difference too much, but
right.
Yeah.
So is your distribution right now with the interviews? Is it just posting and it just does what it does, or do you ever try to lean on any other outlets to distribute your?
Well, a lot of my friends have been doing Facebook lately, so I've been trying to post to that as well, a shorter version of it, a more condensed version of the chattings. as well as a lot of the old pranks, because a lot, like, I don't know, Facebook's been also just competing with videos with YouTube, and so they're monetizing now.
Right, to try to influence you to come and post and share. And
so I'm like still in the process of like getting qualified to post on Facebook.
Oh, to be able to get monetized.
Right. It's something like 30,000 1 minute views in the last 60 days or something like that.
God damn.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's just on a page, right? Like a Facebook page?
Right.
Like a fan page?
Yeah.
So this Black Window Cream is like a creative community, and it's in a Facebook group, which we've been using a lot lately, because I feel like Facebook is like, it has like specific strengths, a lot of weaknesses, because I feel like no one's casually just getting on Facebook to like check in on their friends.
I never get on Facebook.
That's what I'm saying. But you get on Facebook to try to share videos. Exactly. I feel like there's a huge market of people that do share videos.
It's one of those things it's way easier to share than YouTube.
Right.
Like YouTube fucked that up for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're not a social network by any means.
No.
But Instagram is.
Right.
And Facebook is, and so it's much easier to share on those platforms.
And I don't know if it's just people are going there looking for shit, like it's like their news source technically, because we're like trained to get on there. We've been trained to get on there for so long. But YouTube now has a news feed technically.
Okay. And
I feel like that's their version of trying to say, hey, post and update your fans on some shit or whatever, and then hopefully we learn. But like you said, we go to Facebook, and I just think videos have a better chance right now to get viewership. And when you do see them go viral, they get like ridiculous views. Like
well, especially on Facebook.
Yeah, that's like specifically on Facebook. They get
on
dumb
real views. Yeah, like, well, that's the thing. I think I saw somewhere that, like, I don't know, the qualification for a view on Facebook is something like half what a normal view is.
Really?
On YouTube. Yeah.
Right. They're making it easier to like obtain viewership.
Well, yeah, because like you're scrolling.
Right.
So
yeah, if you don't see it, and a lot of people have to use like captions and shit because no one's turning on the sound. Super interesting.
Yeah.
So when you were doing the channel, it's like it starts picking up speed. When did you move to LA?
2015. So that was about 3 years after. Yeah.
So you were just strictly running the channel back home. Were you using that same video person from Craigslist?
No.
You were shifting around?
I mean, yeah, by that point, like he knew I was moving to LA, and so like we faded out, and then I moved to LA, and then I had a friend from college kind of help me for the next year or so film, and then luckily I figured out the interviews.
Right. With the prank shit, how did you make your playground be universities?
Oh yeah, okay. So universities, for some reason the mics were always crystal clear there, less radiation or whatever. And
my mom's listening. She listens to every interview, and so I always have to kind of go into a few things if it doesn't make sense to her. What he's talking about is he's using a wireless microphone that sits on a pack, and so when you get far away from a camera, you create static, and you can lose connection on that shit, which I'm sure you deal with. Like if you're downtown LA, it's going to be a fucking a disaster. Versus
so like at Venice Beach, that would be kind of a nightmare sometimes.
Is it?
Yeah. Like I don't know, just too many cell phones or something.
Right.
Another thing with college is like you never have to worry about people being underage. A lot of cute girls, I guess. Whatever. Right. Everyone's an adult and they're young, so they're more susceptible to pranks, and they're more
that's perfect prey.
They're more what am I trying to say?
What I find interesting is like it's funny because when you walk up to someone, like we were just watching the video where you walk up and just grab someone's hand. You just like hold hands.
That was one of the first that went viral.
Was it?
Yeah.
Shit. But to me, it's like that's something that is so uncomfortable. Like people are going to be like, oh shit, I want to see if he really did it. And then you do it. And then the people that are reacting feel like they may know you because maybe you were in a class at some point, and maybe you didn't just grab their hand, and there's not enough time to calculate it. Yeah. So the reaction's really fucking funny.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you were to go try to do that shit in a bar or something, like,
right, that'd be super weird.
Right?
Yeah, so the environment was definitely a big factor. Yeah, colleges, it's almost like there's like their own little bubble where you could get away with a lot.
Right.
But nowadays it's cringy to look at some of the stuff I used to do. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Like we did one, like I unlisted. It was called like picking people up or something. Picking girls up.
Where you just
Something
literally
like that.
pick them up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's super cringy. Like,
But now
like it was in a college, so like it didn't, and the girls weren't even freaked out, and everyone at the time even like the like ratio was fine. Everyone was just like, "This is so cute," whatever.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's like, oh my god, like unlist that. Don't let anyone ever see it.
Is that something to worry about now when you go into? I mean, have you made a? When was the last time you made a? Because I know you like announced like I'm done making pranks, but then you made a prank again after or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I'll dabble,
Right.
depending on the guest or whatever.
Right. But is it something now? It's like the way the culture shifted, the way people are getting burned left and right for like being too aggressive. Have you seen Joker yet?
Yeah.
There's so many people that are saying this is like a fucked up movie to put out in today's society. But I don't know. Has that ever happened with you with certain jokes that you feel like, is it cringy because it seems like, oh, it's now a guy just walked up to a girl and picked her up and that's like aggressive and that's rapey and that's weird, and people might say that even though it's a fucking joke. Like you see it now and you watch it and we all know it's a joke, but someone can take that out of context and use that against you. Do you ever feel like that's a thing? Yeah,
of course. I've definitely unlisted a lot of my old videos just because I don't agree with them anymore and I was being stupid,
So you personally feel that way?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one that was like, God. There's one where I like came up behind people and like closed their eyes. I was like putting my bare hands on their face. So cringy.
But what were you like, would take selfies but kiss people and shit? Like,
oh yeah, that one's cringy too.
I think it's funny though. Like that's the shit that you see people do. And
I don't know if I enlisted that one because
we just watched it today.
Yeah. So like that one, I feel like it was fun because like I gave them like a full like second or 2 seconds to be like,
make a move out of there.
Yeah, to be like no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
But still, it's still cringy. Like I wouldn't never do anything like that today. I should probably enlist that when I get home.
It's really interesting to think of because I've just been rewatching Entourage. Like I do it probably every year, and
yeah, I love Entourage.
It's great. But if you watch it now, they say a lot of words and shit that obviously wouldn't fly right now.
Yeah.
So you see those people make apologies later on. Like I was just reading some interviews and they're like, yeah, like I definitely wouldn't, I don't know who said it when the interview, but they're like, I mean, I definitely don't like condone any of the shit we were saying back then, but back then it didn't make sense to not say it, But it's interesting how time will shift just because your channel's had such a longevity. You know what I mean? It's, you've had the channel since forever.
Right, yeah.
12 or whatever. That's a long time.
That does make sense. Yeah, like you definitely like, I guess you change with the current and you change with the environment and
right.
You're like, oh shit, you're right. Like this was, and it's all progressive, I guess. Yeah.
What would be like some of the biggest challenges when trying to, like a normal day? How long would you normally spend going out to do it? And would there be days where just jokes aren't clicking?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few days like that, and that was always frustrating. But no, it was maybe like one. The most I ever spent on any prank video was maybe 3 hours. So
that's so sick.
Yeah. So,
but this has been your main thing. You started. I know you gave me a new watch. Thank you very much, Durden.
Of course.
This is his branded watch that I'm wearing.
DurdenWatch.com.
DurdenWatch.com. So I know you're starting something like this, and you're doing the chatting series. What are other things that you've been doing lately that you're focusing on? Because it's like YouTube has been your career for so long.
Yeah.
Interested to know like currently what you're doing, but also my follow-up question to that is, does it become something that's like when shit starts like getting a lot of views, does it build up like your want to like make more, or be progressively earning more views or trying to target and grow your business as a creator, with your channel? Does this make sense? What I'm saying?
Kind of. Well, yeah, it's definitely motivating when you start to get views, but I guess at the same time, there's also this thing in the back of your head that's like really scared of success. Have you dealt with that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're definitely way more in the forefront. People have seen your face like 300 million times.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you definitely, when you get recognized a bit.
And people bug you in front of a cafe.
And I'm like, so, yeah, sure. Like I'm so far from being, you know, a real celebrity. So being at that status would actually really scare me because I've gotten a little taste of it. But so yeah, that definitely holds me back where I'm like, okay, I got to calm down here. And it's like a paradox or whatever, where you're like, yeah, you're motivated and you want to, I don't know, you want to share to the world your talent or whatever, our art.
Right.
And but at the same time, the fame is really scary.
But it comes with like if it's your business, so that's like one fear, but you also have to make a living. So you know, oh shit, I need to make a certain amount of videos to be able to afford my life or whatever it is. Like you want to be after progressively making money, because that's the thing I don't think a lot of people understand. It's like when you're a creator and you're constantly making stuff for YouTube, right? Like if that's your main gig is YouTube, you're not hired by anybody, you don't have a 401k, you're in the same boat as any other freelance videographer, photographer, whatever it is, but that's your way that you're commissioned to create an earning. So it's like you have to continue to grow that. So I guess when your channel started taking off, what was your strategy of like, oh, this is sick, I'm going to keep doing this? Like if I keep doing this can be my job. Like,
yeah, I guess, I mean, I guess if I totally cared about money, I would keep doing, I would do like tipping servers, $200 every fucking week. As well as acting out The Notebook with girls,
right?
10 times a week or something. But yeah, you try to find that balance where you're not, you don't want to kill yourself, and,
right.
You don't want to keep doing stuff that you don't want to do, and it's just a cliche balance with money and art. So
that's interesting.
Yeah,
the videos. Like when you're giving, because you do a lot of giving, like in your videos, it's like...
Yeah, a few of them, yeah. We got the groceries and we got the tipping servers. And then I think I did a gas station one. But yeah, like those are totally like businessy videos. Yeah, like they're not, they're manufactured like Oprah type videos, But you make them with that intention? Like if we make it like this, it'll probably do really well? Yes.
So that's strategically the move.
Definitely.
Right.
Of course.
It's tight because you're still doing a good thing and you get the benefits of growing the channel or getting new subscribers or monetizing the video or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, yeah. And a lot of people are just like, oh, like this isn't real charity, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I'm not claiming it's real charity. It's like we're making a video. They're getting $200. You're getting a show, a reaction or whatever. It's a win-win-win, and yeah, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Well, and this was, I mean, when you did the grocery one, how old was that video?
2013.
Like now it's. Do you watch a lot of YouTube content? Are you constantly paying attention to people that are YouTubers?
Somewhat, but
not really.
Yeah, not really.
So I just am so interested by it. So I'm always studying people, and I've noticed that that's like the ticket to having a massive channel is like these ridiculous giveaways. There's this kid named Mr. Beast, who literally does.
I've heard of Mr. Beast.
He's all his videos are just giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars.
He's been stacking on every video. Yeah,
it's insane.
It's great. I guess, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, one of my best friends was in his like keep in the circle challenge thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What Danny Duncan with the...
Did he get something?
They were at the phase at 100,000 thing. Whoever leaves first gets 100,000. I don't know. I think at the end they all split it or something. It was like 3 people or something. But yeah, no, Mr. Beast is inspiration. Like he's definitely up and coming.
Right.
Like he might surpass PewDiePie or something.
Yeah, which is so funny. Just because if you listen to a story, it's like that's his biggest idol or whatever.
Yeah, and I actually started. He used to, he would do like count to 100,000 in one video, or say Logan Paul 100,000 times. So I started a video reading Crime and Punishment. Have you heard of that book?
Is there a movie?
It's an old Russian novel.
Okay, no.
In the 1800s. I got the copyright free version. I started reading it. I'm like 20% in. It's like 4 hours in. It's gonna be like a 20-hour video.
You're gonna record you reading the entire book?
Yeah, I've already started it.
Holy shit!
It's a nod to Mr. Beast, and I'm wearing his T-shirt and shit.
You're wearing a Mr. Beast T-shirt?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Well, in the first 3 hours, I guess, or whatever. but I have to keep adding to it and get that video done.
God, is there a limit on what you can upload on YouTube?
I believe
Length?
I believe the longest is 24 hours.
You think you can read it in less than 24 hours?
Yeah.
Solid.
Well, Audible is like 20 hours or something.
Those people are pros.
And I've been reading real fast.
Really?
Yeah, like just the way he does too. Like it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know.
Do you fuck up and have to go back? Do you reread lines? Are you like editing this, or is it just
maybe,
like
maybe a few of them? But yeah, most of it, I'm just like, I know most people are not even gonna like fast forward to this part.
Right.
But I'm excited to upload the 20-hour video and just see the comments.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
When is your due date for that?
It's definitely inspired by Mr. Beast. Hell, no due date. I just need to keep adding to it.
Yeah, right. Just little by little. So it takes me so long to read.
I'm doing it with my phone because I started to do it with my vlog camera. I was like, whoa, this is way too much space.
Yeah, it's a bit mad data.
Yeah, the data, man.
2019
I
data
even
problems.
Googled like what is Mr. Beast using? He's just using a webcam. I think he originally did all of them on Twitch, right?
Yeah, I think he did start on Twitch.
So
he's just doing webcam straight into his computer hard drive or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Motherfucking little genius. But when you watch people like him, David Dobrik, it's like their channels, you hope, like David Dobrik does it all the time where out of nowhere he'll just give someone a car. Do you ever follow his channels? This guy's like, his channel's massive right now for...
he's popping off. I've only seen like a few of his stuff in like 1 or 2 videos in the last year.
But what I guess I'm getting at is like it's easy to find a channel by people giving, right? Because there's something about, it's like CNN only posts those articles. It's like a soldier comes home and the dog recognizes him after 4 years, and the dog like runs over and cries, and we all love it. It's like you like seeing these forms of giving or
of course, yeah,
whatever.
It's almost it's like foolproof. Yeah, it's like. You give away, then you're fine. Yeah, the like ratios can be great.
Right. Yeah, no one's gonna dislike.
Probably go viral. Yeah.
Right. So. It's so interesting. When you come to creating your thumbnails early on, were you focused on that shit? Was it more so because yours is always just literally like what it is?
Right. Whatever. Yeah. Like disagreeing with people.
Right.
Whatever. Yeah.
Did you feel like did you start to notice that people started recognizing your face? So like keeping you in the thumbnail, did that like boost your channel at all? Or was there any like tactics that you would take? You seem very like, I just kind of do it and it works.
Yeah. I mean, no, there's definitely like a balance. You don't want to be tacky and, make it all neon shit and, well.
You're right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely am aware of all that. But yeah, no, I try to say it like it is. And I try to, what am I trying to say? You try to do better than the title.
Right. With
I don't
the
know
thumbnail?
Yeah, right. And the thumbnail, right. So you try to exceed their expectations.
Right.
So I always want to exceed people's expectations.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel, was there ever times where you'd post, you put a lot of work into it? I mean, 3 hours is pretty sick that you can knock out a video in that amount of time. But were there ever videos that you'd make that you were like, this one's going to fucking boom, and then it just didn't hit?
Yeah, definitely.
Does that happen often?
Yeah, well, yeah, back in like 2013, I spent like $5,000 on this music video we were trying to do. And it just came out like shit. Like it just did not hit the mark. Yeah.
Right. Did you drop it?
I think it's unlisted now, but yeah, I think you can still find it. It's We're So Fly. And yeah, we flew all the way to Miami, and we hired this guy, and we paid like $1,000 for this venue to film there, and all this.
Damn.
We just spent all this money on extras, even like dancing extras, whatever. It's so stupid. And then it just kind of bombed. Like it was like, I don't know, 40% dislikes, and like I think plateaued at like 300,000 views, which was like very little for that time. Like at the time, I was kind of getting 1 million views a video.
God damn.
So it was just like a big letdown. But
right.
Yeah, we spent so much work on this video.
And your normal videos are exceeding 1 million views, and you're spending 3 hours just like
right.
Didn't have to fly on a plane, didn't have to pay anybody really much more than your camera operator.
No thought. Yeah, simple prank gets a million views more than this video.
That's like the fucking worst part about it. It's like the shit that you try to get passionate about just kind of tanks. But I think you see like Cody and Noel, their channel, like they run some of those music videos, and some of them hit and are really funny, and now they're fucking finding ways to segue that into Spotify plays and shit, and like they'll probably get a plaque at some point making music videos, which is crazy.
Yeah.
To think that that's possible, I guess, from a I just feel like it's changed so much over the course of when you started from like attacking YouTube to where it is right now. The way that people can develop a career in social media, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, using it as a platform to develop careers and also like earn a living and grow an audience. And
right,
some people do it in a, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. We were just watching like a documentary that once, I can't remember what award it won at South by Southwest, but it was all about it's all about these influencers. It's really funny to watch, but it's about this kid that has like a dream of being this streamer / like hot boy on TikTok or some shit.
It's on Netflix.
I think I watched it on Hulu.
All right,
I'll have to look it up. I can't remember what it was, but it's about this kid from like Kentucky whose big dream is to like do this shit, and it's actually wild because the whole I don't want to ruin it for you, but the whole point of it is like this kid's dream is to be a famous Instagrammer or whatever, and it just doesn't work out for him.
All right,
but you ride along that journey with him, and it's pretty wild to like watch what people do for content.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you ever had to go out of your way to try to do anything that was like, I mean, you had to take Adderall to create content at a certain point, but that's pretty much, everyone does that to take a test, you know what I mean, commonly.
Well, no, I don't know. I guess, in 2017, I was doing the interviews for like 6 months, and then I kind of freaked out and went back to pranks again.
Yeah.
Uploaded a video called Return of the King, and that helped pay the bills for the next few months. I started doing pranks again for like 3 or 4 months, but then I went back to the interviews, luckily.
Because they started to work for you as far as like monetization and shit? Like,
yeah, I guess. Or, I don't know. I kind of started, I started to figure them out where it's like, oh, I can title these differently, and
right,
like, oh, like this is with a flat earther, you know?
Yeah.
And not just another YouTuber or whatever. And I used to think like, yeah, I need to, since I have that in with all these other YouTubers, whatever. But it's funny, yeah. As soon as I went to people that just have like a certain topic or whatever, then it started to blow up. Well, like it was more interesting than YouTubers.
Yeah, because I mean, every interview you're gonna find the people that are getting interviewed have accomplished something that's worthy of like. You know, you have a following. People want to know your story. It works for us because it's our thing's about creators, so we can interview you. If you're an artist and you put out an album, you go out and do interviews. You get to talk about like what the process was to make that album. Right. But you interviewing someone that does something that exists but doesn't necessarily come with fame attached to it is so left field. Yeah. You know what I mean? It becomes interesting. Yeah. I mean, you get a lot of views on these interviews, and they're with people that no one knows. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. So. Yeah, it kind of turned into more of a, I don't know, like a Vicey documentary type thing. Yeah. So when you started doing the interviews and you got scared or whatever you were saying, was it just because you're like, fuck, these aren't making me any money, I need to keep my channel, were you losing subscribers? Were you seeing like a fall in your channel at all? Or was it just the fact that the views weren't very big on interviews and you wanted to make like, you needed to see more views on your channel? Well, yeah, I guess it was all that. I didn't even really pay attention to the subscribers, like whatever. Like that's not even that important because, you know, you lose so many and you gain so many, whatever. But like the retention's all that matter. And so, yeah, at that point I needed the money, so I started to do pranks again. Right. But then, yeah, like 4 months later, then we finally did that, and we did topics instead of the other YouTubers. Right. And so then it started to work out. How do you go about finding these different people? A lot of them have emailed me. Really? Yeah. Well, now seeing the series? Right. That's so cool. Like 80% of them have volunteered. Holy shit. Yeah. That's crazy. So that's really nice. But then other ones, I'll find them on Yelp or Instagram, and I'll just be like, hey, this is my show if you want to come on. So Yelp? Yeah, Yelp. Yeah. Wow. How? Like reviewing a fucking restaurant or something?
Well, one of them was like a marriage counselor.
Okay.
I found him there. Another one's like a dialect coach that's actually coming up in the next few weeks. I found him on Yelp. A lawyer. I don't know. Yeah, I'll find a bunch of people on there. A psychic that's coming up. I found them on Yelp. Yeah, that's all I can think about right now. Yeah.
When you're interviewing these people, what's your main goal to get out of the interview? Like what makes you happy? Just being able to have a conversation with them, or do you want to are you trying to provide your audience with something specific?
Well, no, yeah, I guess I just I guess whatever's interesting, whatever pops in my head, I guess that I think would be intriguing. So, and I do post on Twitter usually, like, hey, I'm chatting with a psychic soon. What would you like me to ask them?
Right.
And so then I'll ask those questions. But yeah, I'll usually film for like an hour, and then I'll edit it down usually to 20, 30 minutes.
And you do everything, like you were I think maybe you were telling me this before we started filming, but you're like, I have the same cameras, and when I shoot my interviews, I have to get up and literally reset, because if you don't know, the DSLRs only run for like 30 minutes and they shut off, so you have to go man the cameras yourself, and you're editing, coming up with questions with your Twitter audience, and so you do everything by yourself.
I do.
It's crazy.
For now, for now, I guess I'll probably get an assistant soon where they can do all that, whatever. But it's like, at the same time, it just feels like wasting money, because I can simply just get up and go stop and record again,
Right.
So
how often do you release interviews?
I guess I've been trying to do one a week, but I really should be doing them like 3 times a week. Yeah.
Right.
So,
well, yeah, that's the benefit of, that's how I was with this podcast, was like doing it and then trying to edit 3 cameras, and it's a pain in the ass. Mine were 2.5 hours long sometimes. You know what I mean? That shit's...
Yeah.
But then I start getting help, and it makes things easier. I can focus on more interviews, and yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I've definitely experimented with like hiring people to edit them, but they can never do it the exact way I want it, and then I just end up like fixing everything and spending twice the time on it.
Yeah.
So
how long will you record? How long will your interviews usually last? And then how they all seem to be like 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah. No, it's usually about an hour, and then I cut it down about into 20, 30 minutes.
Right. And you're just like cutting out the fat or the shit that just doesn't make sense?
Just anything that's boring, whatever.
Right.
Rambling. All the ums and me, like,
right.
That I say,
Yeah.
So
you try to eliminate all that.
Yeah.
I just didn't give a fuck, and I just was like, let's let the shit ride and just be raw. Because most people, I feel like they come in, they hear something, and then they just move on from it. But I think also condensing it into like something that's jam packed with the best version of it is very good. And what's been your biggest viewed video from out of all the conversations that you've had? The porn star one?
Let me think. Well, a lot of them, they find that pocket in YouTube, and they just keep climbing, Like, I don't know, the first stock trader kept climbing. I think that's at like 2 point something million.
God damn.
I think Flat Earth is over 2 million. I don't know.
The ketamine one was super interesting.
Yeah, ketamine blew up. That was like we got really lucky with that, because like the day before, ketamine just got like legal or something.
Really?
Yeah, and I had no idea.
Is there ever like pressing situations that you're finding from people that they're nervous to even show their face? Because it's interesting that some people will talk about certain things like this that they're just cool with sharing that info.
I did have one girl that was like a cam girl, and I blurred her face, but I think after a year, because it was demonetized anyway, she was just like, I don't know. She was like, "Can you take it down?" I was like, "Sure, yeah," because I'm not making money from it anyway. Right. But other than that, no, like everyone's been fine. Yeah. I don't know.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
When you go out and strategize, do you think you'll start will you do prank shit again, or are you just strictly focusing on this? Well,
I've actually, like prank ideas, they're always popping in my head, hanging out with friends and shit. So I actually did just start a little Instagram called Dad Proper, and I as a base, I put like a lot of my oldies on there, and then I think I got like 2 new ones there. Yeah, on there.
Dad Proper.
Yeah,
Dad Prop. What's the
much easier to like spell and remember than LAHWF, you know?
Right. Well, yeah. So LAHWF is behind. It's because of
it's an acronym. Yeah,
from
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Yeah,
and you just stuck with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I made the channel in like 2009.
Super huge Fight Club fan.
I guess, yeah. And so like, but it's like, it's really a terrible name because no one can remember it. No one can spell it.
Yeah.
So.
I felt like that was one of the hardest things to do is I would see your video and then couldn't remember your name off top. And I knew there was a channel name and I knew it was a series of letters and it was so hard to find.
Yeah, it's very bad marketing. But so now I started this Instagram called Dad Proper, which is very easy to remember and spell. And I'm probably just going to, if I have any itch to do pranks, it's going to be there.
It'll live there. That's like the goal of that.
Right. For now, the chattings will be on LAHWF and then any pranks will be on there, yeah.
Do you think you are going to be enticed to do pranks for money? Like, because if you do it on Instagram, you're not really able to monetize that. So you would just be doing that just to do it. And then you know what I mean? You wouldn't ever really have a desire to put it on YouTube for the sole fact of like it can create revenue.
Yeah, I guess that's gonna be the edge. Is like, oh yeah, if they want to see pranks, it's gonna be on this Instagram.
It's almost like
page.
exclusive to find
Right.
it. That's interesting.
So that's the strategy anyway.
Do you fuck with
now.
sponsors?
Yeah, of course. Well, on YouTube anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you ever have sponsors for the Chatting With series?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, cool.
Let me think. I think Alexa had one.
Alexa the thing?
Chatting with Alexa.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I had one for an app there, and I've had a few others. Let's see. The moon landing conspiracy theorist was Dr. Squatch, their soap and stuff.
Is it? How do you go about? You have one where it's like chatting with my manager. So you've had management for a while.
Yeah, I've kind of known Jordan since the beginning, though. Yeah.
How did he just reach out to you, or
he was working with Fullscreen, and I signed with Fullscreen back in like 2015 or something, and I've just kind of known him since.
What was, for people who don't understand what Fullscreen was? Like,
Fullscreen's an MCN. They take
they sell you, like it's like a management group.
Yeah, they're a agency that just helps you get commercials and stuff. They got me like Shock Top. They got me Tide. They got me a bunch of commercials. Yeah.
So when you say you got you commercials, you're saying that you ran Shock Top ads on your videos, or you were in their commercials? You'd be in there.
I would be in their commercials,
right.
And it would be on their channel on YouTube.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was nice.
How was that? Yeah, like the power of collaboration. I think there was one video I remember watching of you. Maybe you would like walk up to people and you would pull out your phone and you'd have like the keypad out. Did you ever do a video like that, or something with phones where you would like take people's numbers? Did you ever do anything like that?
There's one I did with Vitaly where we handed girls our phone and we were like, put your number in our phone.
But did you do it without even saying anything? Wouldn't you just like hold it out, or did you ask just like give me your phone number and they did it?
I don't know. I've done a bunch of shit like that. Yeah.
I remember watching that shit, and it was on someone else's channel. So it's like, that's how I learned about you, was through that. Was that ever key to you? Was getting on, as prank channels started to develop, like Vitaly and people like that, was it important for you guys as like a circle to kind of like bounce off each other? Because sometimes it'd be your video, but there'd be another dude in there that I don't know who that is, and they would walk up to people in a cafeteria or whatever and do a prank. Yeah. So you kind of learn about
definitely people
through each other.
Yeah, definitely. Collaborations are huge.
Yeah.
It's the best thing you can ever do is just cross promote, and then their whole audience sees you and your whole audience sees them. Right. And it's such a seamless thing.
Was there ever people that was there any collaborations that you remember hoping for and you got it and it was like a big deal for you?
No, actually, I was very bad at that. People are always reaching out to me, I never really reached out to anyone. I kind of sound like an asshole saying that, but
nah,
I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I keep to myself, but but I was also like, oh, this is a great opportunity, and they would reach out to me or whatever. So
I feel like it's kind of funny because people will look at you like a billboard, right? Like your channel can act like a billboard, and typical sponsors could do it. But I think that there's ways that you could distribute something else through pranks or whatever at the time, or you know what I mean? By having like, maybe it's like a new song for someone, you have the ability to push something like that. I don't know if you'd ever be willing to take it there, but it is like an interesting way to use your platform. I don't know. It's just interesting. I know you said like you didn't really give a shit about money, but I feel like thinking of it now, everything becomes so tactile with the way brands looking at creatives with a platform as like a way to distribute something through it.
Right.
Did you ever run into places where brands would want to promote something with you and they pushed too hard or like fucked up your creativity and like what you were trying to do? Did that ever happen?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, brand deals can be very exhausting because you're dealing with all these corporate people that like are just not in the same headspace at all, you know, compared to, I don't know, just like, you know, what you're thinking. I remember there's this one time, this brand deal, it had to be some kind of feel good thing, you know, some kind of giving away something, but I had already done like a bunch of that. And so then like at the very last second at the deadline, I did something like telling people they're beautiful or something cheesy like that. And I remember like talking to the guy on the phone. He's just like, yeah, I don't get it. Like, what is that? Like, why is that great or whatever? And I was just like, just trust me. And so then we did it. And then I sent the final copy to them. And they were like, yeah, this works great. And then we did it and it was all good. But
he's just no one can see your vision as far as like, trust me, the response will be great or my audience will eat the shit up.
And then we uploaded it. Everyone's just like, this is awesome, you know, and they loved it, whatever. But yeah, it's definitely hard to communicate your vision.
Right.
So
no, that's for sure. So you came up with this watch, right? You've been promoting it for what, a year? Or you came out with it a year ago?
A year or two, yeah.
Thank you for gifting us.
Of course.
Some. This is appreciated.
Yeah.
It's a clean ass watch. It's like very minimal and
very simple.
What's the logo? A rose?
Durden. Yeah, it's a rose. My friend made that. Yeah.
Nice. So what made you want to start a watch company?
Well, I kind of fell into it, but I guess for money, just to have some merch to sell. And I kind of figured out the whole brand slogan thing as I went along, and now it kind of works. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's just a watch, whatever, and it's anti-consumer, and it's like ironic and paradoxical, whatever.
How so?
You know, like, because Fight Club's all like, you're not your fucking khakis, you know, and yeah, you're not your watch,
right?
So it's anti-materialism, and that's the whole slogans. Like, it's just a watch. Like, you're not. It's anti-Gucci and anti-brand and anti-materialism.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So when you started, like, you have merch, what kind of pieces of merch would you sell outside of the watch? Do you have shirts and shit?
Yeah, just shirts and whatnot. Like, I've gone through different shirt companies and whatnot. Now I'm just with Teespring.
Was that like a drop shipping option or something?
Pretty much, yeah. Like they're just Teesprings. They made a partnership with YouTube, and now like that's what you see on the bottom of everyone's YouTube videos now. Yeah. So
damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it makes that shit super easy for someone to just like click and buy like right on the spot.
Yeah, and it's very user friendly. You can just design whatever shirts you need at that moment and then post it. Yeah,
really,
it's really nice. Yeah,
damn,
I love Teespring.
So you're not constantly trying like what the material is.
You don't have to talk to anyone and be like, oh, does this work or whatever. You can just make the design and post it.
Damn.
It's real good.
That's fucking crazy.
I should probably like work for them or something. Yeah.
Just catch the deal.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's crazy. So what do you do? What are things that you're doing? I know you're talking about you made like an ad or whatever for your watch. What are things that you're doing to promote that?
Yeah, I made an ad last year, but I want to make another ad. I have a better vision for it. That'll just be a surprise, and then that's about it, though. Yeah, just we do have another, I guess, design of the watches coming soon.
So you'll have two, technically?
Yeah. Well, we got the white and the black of this, and then we got a new one coming. Yeah,
sick. So. How'd you fall into it? Someone brought it up to you?
Yeah, no. I started out with like two other friends, and we were all like, yeah, let's do it, whatever. And they, we had, one friend design it, another friend was like dealing with the shipping and Alibaba and stuff like that.
Right.
And then like, a few months later, I was like, this isn't working. I'll just buy it from both of you guys and do it myself.
Right.
So
Interesting.
Yeah.
So would it, I mean, is it ever worth it to be like, I'm going to do something that's going to be viral? Like at the beginning of, if you put that watch at the beginning of the ketamine video.
Yeah.
And you just quickly like plug it real quick. Do you see a massive spike in sales?
Yeah,
through
sure,
that?
of course.
So it's always the best move. So do you try to do that before each video? Because I feel like every video I've ever seen from you doesn't feel addy at all.
Yeah, of course. No, I try to, well, I don't want it to be like, I want it to be its own company too.
Right.
You know, I don't want it to be totally connected to LAHWF.
Right.
So, yeah, I try to limit that.
Right. That makes sense. I don't know. It's just such an interesting. You're such an interesting person because it's like you've had so much success with this channel,
Thanks.
and you're so casual about it. You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like when you said like
It's all a facade.
but when you say you have like this mild fame and compared to like so I'll work with Beyonce a bunch, and when we'll be out
Wow.
and like the van will get attacked by fans because
Yeah.
people hear that she's in a van, right? Or with Jay or whatever. And so that's a whole nother level. And just any artists I've worked with, it's like you see it happen all the time. What do you feel like do you ever go certain spots that you know are gonna probably end up being a lot of people that recognize you and it's weird to deal with?
No.
No?
Like there's no, well, I guess colleges maybe people recognize me more, but still it's nothing. Yeah.
I mean, when I moved over here, because we live near each other, I
Sorry,
think,
I have to pee so bad.
dude, you could go pee, bro.
where's
You're
the
good.
bathroom? Where's the bathroom?
It's right out here. Hey guys, I wanted to stop this episode real quick to tell you about our Patreon. Our Patreon is a way for you to support this Black with No Cream podcast, the private community, and everything that we do behind the scenes to create content for y'all. If you are interested in doing that, you can go to patreon.com/Black with No Cream, where you get instant access to our private Discord channel, which is like just a better version of the Facebook group, I guess. I'm in it all the time, so if you have questions for me, you can go there and ask. We have live streams every single month, 2 live streams every single month. We have bonus podcast episodes. There's tons of great stuff in there, and you get access to the How to Charge client guide. So if you're interested in doing that, help us keep the lights on. We appreciate it. It's patreon.com/Black with No Cream. All right, let's get back to this episode.
That sounds right.
So is that true though? Like you really feel like people don't, or maybe it's just people may notice you? I mean, that's got so around music shit. If I go into certain spots, I know like, oh, if I'm at this type of show with this label, some of those fans from those artists will recognize who I am or whatever. So I just know that it's happening, which is strange.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But you don't feel like that happens to you? Like if you're going somewhere, you don't feel like people are. I don't remember when the fuck I moved here. And I was riding, I remember what happened. This is funny as fuck that I have you on the podcast now. Because I remember cruising by. I'd seen all your videos. I'm pretty sure it'd be like one of those nights in Iowa. And we were all at my friend's house. And we just turn on Apple TV and we'd go to a channel and we're just watching your videos. And I moved over. I was in West Hollywood. I was in Studio City. Then I went to West Hollywood. And I moved over here around this area. And I remember driving by and I saw you outside. I'm like, oh shit, that's the dude. That's that guy Andrew. And then my girlfriend's like, who's that? I'm like, you gotta see the videos. But then I just start seeing, you just are recognizable. Like you just seem like, you have 300 million some fucking views on your YouTube channel. It's like inevitably, but it's weird to imagine that people don't bug you.
Well, no, I mean, I guess they did a lot more, yeah, in like 2013 or 14, but now it's no more than like once a week or whatever.
Right.
So
back then you were it was.
Yeah, even then though, it wasn't, I mean, you think about it, you go outside and you ask anyone if they know who PewDiePie is, they're not going to.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of them won't even know. So yeah, even all of YouTube is very niche.
Right.
It's not, we're not real celebrities.
Yeah,
So.
but I think right now is an interesting transition period where TV is really no more, and YouTube is like where people go to consume their shit. That's why
we're getting there.
I think so.
Definitely. Today I just interviewed a guy named Gavin Magnus. You heard of him?
Gavin Magnus.
He's like this 12-year-old next Justin Bieber type,
Really?
Yeah. So, and he's got 1 million on Insta and then like 1.3 million on YouTube, and
was it interesting?
He does these covers. Yeah, it was great. I mean, it should come out really good. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like in the direction of where we're going with channels having more priority than television channels. Like, what are some of your future plans coming up for what's next for you? Is it just focusing on the chatting series and really diving into that?
Well, the chattings are fun. Yeah, I love doing those. For now, it'd be great to put out films.
What kind of films?
I don't know, the type you can rent off Amazon, you know?
Yeah? Like
Buy
doing
off
full
Amazon.
features and shit?
Yeah, full features, right. And you can enter into festivals, I guess. And
have you done anything like that before?
No. So...
Have you made a lot of connections with people that are in that industry that to be able to like kind of dive into it when you're ready?
Yeah.
Nice. Definitely.
Yeah. Like I know a few people, a lot of my friends here in LA, you know, are going to auditions constantly. They're, you know, traditional media. They're actors, you know.
Right.
My sister's one of those people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did she move out here when you moved out here?
She, 2 years before I did.
Whoa.
And so, yeah, and she's older than me. And she's been, you know, chasing the dream. She's been in a few stuff too. Yeah, she has an IMDb page and all that.
Right.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Before we let you go, I have our Patreon. We have like a Patreon account, so we always do a little Q&A experience.
Sure.
I just posted it quickly, so there's only a few questions. But Sean Sauce, he said he was stoked on this interview coming up, and he's really interested to understand why you rebranded your channel, or what was like the main reason why you wanted to rebrand. And I am interested to hear a little bit more on, you know, you feel like you're gonna burn yourself out almost maybe from the pranks, but I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, well, you know, I did the pranks for like 4 or 5 years or something, and I was getting sick of them, and I was getting older, and you know, you kind of as you get older, you run out of that that spunk, that energy that you know you're allowed to have when you're all reckless and being a punk, you know, messing with people and shit. So, and the interviews were something I've always been a curious person. I've always asked a lot of questions and been good at asking questions from people that have told me, and then luckily, you know, I changed that, and that's something has much more longevity to it, and I can do that for the rest of my life instead of pranks.
Well, it's interesting too how you tied it to Vice. Kind of, you were saying it's like Vice style interviews. Mm-hmm. I was just listening to a podcast with the guy that founded that, and it's interesting to hear how they were so focused on. I mean, that's what they grew on, is these interesting aspects to certain people, areas, whatever it is, topics that are kind of, you know, you want to tiptoe around, but you're diving into those interviews, which obviously are showing promise that people are interested in that shit. And if your channel becomes like a platform for these off the wall conversations with people that normally don't get this light shot on them, I think it has a huge chance of blowing up. Yeah.
I mean, I love how, you know, YouTube, you can do whatever you want, and it's very gonzo. It's very raw guerrilla journalism. So it's fun. Yeah. I've been having a lot of fun.
Right. Kyle G says he is interested. He goes, I wonder if there's ever anything he's discovered on how to best engage with viewers long-term throughout all of his content. Something that transcends the actual video topics that he applies to everything he creates. Is there anything that you do that you think is always kind of like your thing?
Best way to connect with your audience?
Yeah.
Vlogging.
Vlogging?
Yeah, definitely. Get a vlogging camera, whatever. G7X, and talk to your audience like as if they were your best friend. That's definitely my advice if you want to connect with your audience, and just be consistent with it. Yeah.
Do you chat with them much? Like, are you in DMs or answering questions from them often, or
a little bit? But it's mostly like reading the comments, and definitely like responding to them.
Right.
But like paraphrasing. I'm too lazy to like take the actual comment and put it on the screen.
Right.
So yeah.
Is it reading the comments? Does that bug you sometimes if people are talking shit?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, most of your vlog audience, it's so niche that most of them are positive.
Right. Yeah. But on interviews, do you see a reaction like how you were talking about how it's like people could say if the interviewer this and that? Yeah, I try to limit myself from reading the main channel comments, especially if one like pops off. Like the ketamine did pop off and found that algorithm, and then all these people that had no idea who I was like, oh God. Yeah. So you just, at that point, you got to decide not to read those comments. Well, and I feel like that's like plays into the whole mental health thing with creators now. It's especially like when commenting, and you can hide behind any account you want and say what you have to say, and people will take that shit to heart. Is I guess that's one way to balance it. Just not read the shit. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But also, it's just people fucking being
they're
trash.
trolling.
Yeah, they're trolls.
Well, it's a natural law of the universe. Like the more successful you get, you have a certain number of haters.
Right.
So.
Yeah, if you don't have haters, it ain't working, or some shit like that.
I don't know. Yeah.
Tight. Well, I appreciate you coming on. This was awesome. I'm glad
this
you
was
did
fun.
I just pulled up on you while you were trying to eat some avocado toast or some shit. So
no doubt.
Thank you for being tight enough to come do the podcast.
This was easy. Just
Good.
walked over. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Cool. Is there any? Oh yeah, this is what I always do. Sorry, I almost forgot the shit.
Sure.
So at the end of this shit, if anyone's listened to this all the way through, about like an hour, 11 minutes into it, minus a pee break, I give you the chance to give a hashtag, right? They're going to pick a hashtag. I'm telling everyone to go to your Instagram. What's your Instagram? Is it Andrew Hales?
You might as well throw them to Dad Proper.
Ooh, that's good. Let's go to Dad Proper. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're going to go there, and whatever your most recent post, I'm going to tell them to go and tag me at Ben Reverse World, and then put this hashtag you're about to pick so we both know that they made it this far in the podcast episode.
All right.
So whatever you want.
Hashtag Dad?
Just Dad?
Can we do that?
Yeah, we can.
Sure, yeah. Let's do that.
How'd you come up with Dad Proper again?
I don't know. Well, I just was like looking for like usernames that were available. and that one was available, so I got it.
How the fuck did you even trip on Dad Proper?
Well, I mean, people have been calling me Dad for a while. I didn't choose that. Just like my blog audience and other people, whatever. Because I'm also like kind of a dad in a lot of ways. I don't know, with like Chad and stuff. They've all been calling me Dad.
How old's your dog?
Just over 3 years.
3 years?
Bonnie, yeah.
Right. That's funny as hell. God damn. All right. Well, everyone go there. Drop Dad. Appreciate it, man.
Of course.
Anything else you want them to check out while they're listening?
No, yeah. Just go to Dad Proper, sure.
Sick. All right. Thanks, man.
Of course.
That's it for episode 130 with Andrew Hales. If you want to be able to ask people like Andrew questions, you can do so by joining us on Patreon. We have the Q&A experience available for all of our Patreon members. You will get an update of who I'm about to interview in advance and be able to ask them any question you desire. And it's great because sometimes it's hard to get these people to respond to you, and I'll do it right there for you. So if you want to do that, patreon.com/blackwindowcream. Make sure to follow Andrew on all his socials. Links to that are in the description. And don't forget to motherfucking subscribe, because that shit is tight when you do that. All right, cool. If you're listening to this on Spotify and iTunes and everything like that, if you would be so nice to leave us a review, that's also appreciated. And shop BWNC.com to pick up some gear. And that's it. That's, you putting some gas in the tank. We appreciate it. All right, cool. Love you, motherfuckers. We're doing this every Wednesday and Sunday. See ya later.